The officer gets there and starts seeing what's happening. So it is a very fluid situation that, at the scene.
But of course, that evolution can lead to going down all kinds of trails on a cell phone as well. And who knows what's in there? Paul in Des Moines is called. Hi, Paul, you're on the air.
Hi, Tom. My question is basically, I work in mental health, and my wife works in mental health.
Yeah.
Everyone I know who work with carries around smartphones. We have client information, life plans on them. My question is, if it takes the phone and search it from us without a permission, isn't that a massive HIPAA violation?
We have so much on our persons these days. I don't know where that goes. Adam Dershowitz, with or without the search warrant functioning in there, Paul's thinking about mental health records and medical records. Sort of no end to the questions that come up here.
Yeah, and it's not just the HIPAA questions. There's a question, for instance, about attorneys who might have information about their clients or doctors who might have about their patients. This question goes actually also to the border, where searches of smartphones and laptops occur, and all of that private information is there as well. And so, yeah, there are privacy concerns for patients, for clients, for all sorts of things, which further, I think, reiterates the reason why the court's got to be careful to allow too broad of a scope here without any restriction.
Our metaphors and examples for this tend to be physical, and now we're in this digital age. I mean, how do we get the expertise on this high court or beyond to draw good lines here that let law enforcement do what they have to do, but not run willy-nilly through all the data of our lives over maybe next to nothing in an arrest, Professor?
Yeah, it's a tough situation. The Supreme Court is a group of 9 very, very smart people, but they're not the most 9 technically in touch people you're ever going to find. In fact, they're fairly out of touch. This is one of those cases, I think, where the clerks hired by the justices become much more valuable. I think the justices on an everyday basis are so smart and so well versed in the law, they could do their job without their clerks. But this is a case where the 25 or 26-year-old recent graduates of law school are actually quite valuable to the court, because they can show these justices, who are much older and much less in touch with these kinds of things, what's really going on in the world. And that may be one of these cases where the clerks become much more valuable than they actually are in other cases.
Sheriff Judd, you're kind of old school, and I say that with respect, but Americans have seen all kinds of electronic surveillance being done at home and around the world. I mean, they become leery when law enforcement gets into the digital realm. You think that, presumably have privacy issues yourself, concerns yourself here. You think we've got the expertise in our law enforcement and judicial system to get in there and draw the right lines in the digital realm, Sheriff?
Certainly there can be abuse by a law enforcement agency or any government entity, but I can tell you on balance, we have a very professional agency. When we legally search, whether the court allows us to do that independently or whether we have to get a warrant, even with a warrant, we're going to have access to all that data. We're not the least bit interested in disclosing information on folks that may be mentally ill that we obtain from a counselor's phone. We're not interested in disclosing anything that a doctor or a lawyer has client privilege.
I mean, that's good to hear, but suddenly you're in there wandering around through all of the person's personal private information. Isn't there a temptation?
Well, that's when you have to understand that that's the system. We're going to look for criminal evidence of a crime. If there's no crime, there's no foul. But there's a solution to this. Don't put that stuff on your phone if you're going to go out and be a criminal.
Yeah, I heard you before, and I hear you again on that, but boy, these days, things seem to get up on those phones in a hurry. Good idea not to be a criminal, but whoever you are, if you're arrested, there could indeed be a lot on that phone. Sheriff Grady Judd, Sheriff of Polk County, Florida. Sheriff Judd, thank you very much for your insights today.
Thank you very much. It was my honor to be with such a distinguished panel.
Kevin Boyle at the International Union of Police Associations in Salt Lake City. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
And Adam Dershowitz, William & Mary Law School. Thank you, Professor.
Thanks for a great discussion.
We'll be watching the High Court. Thanks for joining us. This is On Point.
silver contacts out of ITE circuit breakers. It's the older ones, so they're more pure silver than anything. These ones say GS on them, on the back. I'm pretty sure that's really pure silver. These ones are like a copper silver mixture. These ones pure silver. This is a super old, this is contact out of a super old starter, motor starter. I had to cut it off of there because these things are hard to come off of that copper, but these things are easy to get off. So anyway, this is approximately a half a pound.